The moment I walked through our side gate, sweat still drying on my Navy SEAL workout shirt, I saw something that made my blood turn to fire. An HOA enforcer, one of Karen Mallory's hand-picked wannabe cops, had my wife Emily by the wrist and was dragging her across our yard like she was trash he was taking to the curb. Her knees scraped the grass. Her hair was tangled. Her voice cracked as she said, "Let go! You're hurting me!" But he didn't let go. He jerked her again harder like she was some kind of object he was entitled to move. Two neighbors stood at the sidewalk, mouths open, frozen, afraid to intervene. Then he did it. He stopped, looked at Emily like she was beneath him, and slapped her across the face so hard her head snapped sideways. My vision narrowed. My heartbeat slowed. Every instinct I'd trained my entire adult life sharpened in a single second. This man had no idea who he just laid hands on. Not my wife. Not today. Not ever again. Before we dive in, comment which country you're watching from. Let's see how far this story travels. To understand how it got here, how an HOA enforcer ended up putting his hands on Emily, you need the truth about Karen Mallory. Karen hated my wife. Not the playful neighborhood rivalry kind of hate. Not petty annoyance. I'm talking full-blown jealousy wrapped in control issues. Emily is kind, calm, respected, everything Karen could never manufacture for herself. And Karen couldn't stand it. She issued fake violations for improper flower bed symmetry, overly friendly porch greetings, unapproved yoga mats on lawn, hanging laundry with superiority energy. Yes, that was a real line she wrote. Every week, another yellow HOA slip showed up on our door. Sometimes 2, sometimes 3. Karen whispered to neighbors, "Emily thinks she's better than everyone. She doesn't follow the HOA spirit. I'm keeping an eye on her." But the real explosion happened last month. Karen screamed at a group of kids riding scooters, saying they violated noise guidelines. Emily, being Emily, asked her to calm down and stop harassing children. Karen lost it. She turned red, jabbed a finger in Emily's face, and swore she would put your household back in line. After that, things escalated fast. Karen formed her own HOA enforcement unit, which was really just one out-of-shape guy named Doyle wearing a $20 black vest with white HOA letters ironed on the back. Doyle started lurking near our windows, staring into our yard, banging on the door daily, interrogating delivery drivers, and patrolling our sidewalk like he owned it. We reported him. Karen claimed he was just doing his duty. But today, I wasn't home. And that's exactly when Karen sent him to intimidate Emily, to scare her, to make an example. But Doyle went way beyond intimidation. He crossed the line into assault. When I stepped into the yard, Emily was on her knees, tears streaking her face, palm pressed to her cheek. Doyle still had her wrist, still gripping, still smirking. I dropped my gym bag, stepped forward, shoulders squared. My voice came out low, controlled, deadly calm. "Touch her again." He turned slowly, looked at my shirt, looked at my fists, and grinned like he just met another neighbor he could bully. Then he said the words that sealed his fate. "What are you going to do about it?" The HOA enforcer still had his hand wrapped around Emily's wrist when he turned toward me, smirking like he just won something. "What are you going to do about it?" he taunted, puffing his chest, still gripping my wife like she was property he'd seized. Emily's eyes were red, makeup streaked from tears. Her cheek was already swelling from the slap he just delivered. She looked at me, breath trembling, but she didn't need to say a word. I saw everything in that one look, fear, pain, and relief that I had just walked in. I stepped forward, slow and controlled, my military boots pressing into the lawn. The enforcer didn't back up, didn't loosen his grip. He actually squeezed Emily's wrist harder, like he wanted to prove something. "Oh, look," he mocked. "The Navy SEAL's home." What are you going to recite the Pledge of Allegiance at me? I didn't answer. I set my gym bag down, rolled my shoulders once, and I walked straight toward him. Last warning, I said quietly. Let her go. He laughed in my face, a full ugly nose flaring laugh. Or what? This is HOA authority, buddy. Your wife broke the rules. She disrespected the board. I'm within my... He didn't finish the sentence because the moment he lifted his free hand like he was about to hit her again. I moved. Not fast, not dramatic, just precise. My fist connected with the side of his jaw so cleanly it felt like punching a heavy bag. The crack echoed across the yard, sharp, final, devastating. His head snapped sideways, and his knees buckled instantly. He hit the ground like dead weight. But I wasn't done. Not after seeing bruises on Emily. Not after seeing tears on her face. Not after hearing the way she said my name. When I stepped into the yard, he tried to push himself back up, wheezing, spitting blood. I grabbed the front of his vest and yanked him upright just long enough to land another punch. Square in the mouth. His lip burst open, blood spraying across the grass. You don't touch my wife, I growled. Another punch. You don't drag her. Another. You don't slap her. His head drooped, body limp. I let him drop. He collapsed face first into the grass, arms twitching uselessly as blood dripped from his busted mouth and ruined nose. Emily ran into my arms, shaking. I held her close, steadying her as she sobbed into my chest. The enforcer groaned something unintelligible, trying to crawl, but he couldn't even lift himself. I pulled out my phone. 911. I said, "This is former SEAL David Cross. I just subdued a violent trespasser assaulting my wife at our home. Send deputies and EMS." He's still breathing, but he's not going to be walking anywhere for a while. The operator confirmed units were on the way. Within minutes, sirens cut through the neighborhood. 2 patrol cars screeched to a stop. Deputies jumped out, hands on holsters, then froze when they saw the HOA enforcer on the ground, barely conscious, moaning through a broken jaw. "What the hell happened?" one deputy asked. Emily pointed at him, voice shaking. "He attacked me, dragged me, hit me. My husband stopped him." The deputies looked at each other, then back at me. "And Karen might have sent him," Emily added. Both deputies exhaled sharply like they had expected her name. As medics lifted the battered enforcer onto a stretcher, blood trailing through the grass, one deputy turned to us and said, "Don't go anywhere. We're about to get the whole story." And they would, because what was coming next would take Karen's entire fake empire down. If you're enjoying this HOA story so far, like and subscribe, because the story is only going to get better. The ambulance hadn't even cleared the end of the street before the question started. Deputies roped off the lawn. Neighbors clustered behind the tape whispering. Emily sat on the back of the patrol car wrapped in a blanket, her face still red from the slap, her wrist already swelling. And the HOA enforcer? He was loaded onto the stretcher with 2 injuries nobody was prepared for. A severe cardiac arrhythmia from the hip to the chest, a head injury from when he fell that left him unresponsive. By the time medics stabilized him, his pulse was faint and his breathing shallow. Within minutes of arriving at the hospital, he slipped into a medically induced coma. But the deputies still had a job to do. They interviewed Emily first. She told him everything. The harassment, the trespassing, the threats, the way he grabbed her and slapped her before I arrived. Then they questioned me. I walked them through every second of the takedown, step by step, careful, clear, precise. A Navy SEAL doesn't fumble details. After that, the deputies went to question the only other person tied to this mess. Karen Mullery, HOA president, neighborhood tyrant, the queen of petty power. She stood on her porch with arms crossed, fake tears in her eyes, shaking her head before they even finished the first question. Me involved? Absolutely not, she insisted. I never told him to touch her. He acted alone? I am horrified by his behavior. She lied so smoothly you'd think she practiced the script in the mirror. She denied sending him, denied giving him instructions, denied everything. Even when neighbors stepped out and said they'd heard her screaming at Emily the day before, Karen just waved her hand. Gossip. They're jealous of me. Everyone is jealous. The deputies couldn't arrest her without proof. And with the enforcer in a coma, there was no confession coming. So, for a few days, Karen walked around like she'd gotten away with it. Chin high, sunglasses on, pretending to comfort neighbors while secretly enjoying the chaos she caused. Then the call came. A soft knock at my door. 2 deputies standing there holding a plastic evidence bag. Sir, the hospital was able to unlock the HOA cop's phone. Inside the bag was the phone, cracked screen, blood still dried along the edges. We reviewed the messages, the deputy continued. And you're going to want to hear this. The texts spoke for themselves. Multiple messages from Karen saying, make sure she learns her place. A photo of my wife Emily with the caption, problem number 1. Payment confirmations labeled enforcement bonus. A final message sent 1 hour before the assault. She disrespected me again. Handle it. Karen hadn't just encouraged the attack. She ordered it. That afternoon, 3 patrol cars rolled up to her house. She stepped outside smiling until she saw the cuffs. What is this? You can't arrest me. I'm the HOA president. The senior deputy didn't blink. Karen Mallory, you are under arrest for conspiracy to commit assault, ordering an attack, obstruction, and financial fraud. Her face drained white. Neighbors filmed as she was guided into the cruiser, screaming the whole way. And justice didn't stop there. She was sentenced to 16 years in state prison, fined $38,000 for Emily's medical bills, ordered to repay every fraudulent HOA fee she ever issued, and permanently banned from any HOA leadership nationwide. As for the enforcer, he remained in a coma, his fate uncertain. And me. I stood in the yard that night, arm around Emily, watching the last patrol car disappear down the street. Some people, I said quietly, don't realize how far they'll push a good man until they go too far. What do you think, folks? Did Karen and her HOA cop get what they deserved? What would you have done if a fake HOA cop assaulted your wife? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear it.